Thank you so much. Can I please have a huge shout out for the entire team of IWMBuzz for putting this together? Ladies and gentlemen, one of a kind, the media summit over here in Kolkata. Thank you so much once again for turning up in large numbers. And are you all excited? Are you all ready? Can I have some noise from all of you over here? Are you all ready? Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting our day with the opening keynote address on the topic Decoding Regional Businesses Defining National Trends. I'll repeat the topic for you all once again. This is Decoding Regional Businesses Defining National Trends. And for this, I'd like to invite on stage the visionary, the man himself, Dr. Annurag Batra, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, BW Businessworld Media Group, and Founder, Exchange for Media Group. Can I please request all of you to give the loudest amount of appreciation, cheers for Dr. Batra as he joins us over here on stage.
Morning, it's my honor and privilege to be here in Kolkata and to speak at the IWMBuzz Media Summit 2024. IWMBuzz has been around for a long time, and you've seen the IPs that IWMBuzz has created. Siddharth and Franklin have created a B2C platform for entertainment content, and it is growing. It's number 3 on ComScore, more than 25 million. Its YouTube channel is growing. And most importantly, its best time is ahead of it. These are young IPs. Some are in their first, second year. Some are in their third, fourth year. So whether it's a pure digital play and experiential play when it comes to IWMBuzz. And it is expanding regionally, and it is also expanding nationally. So clearly for advertisers, sponsors who want to reach out to certain kind of audiences, you saw a glimpse of the IWMBuzz's, West Bengal's most stylish. I was here at the event earlier during the year, and it was an outstanding event to see the superstars of the Bengali cinema and superstars from fashion, movies, films, and the creative fraternity. Now let me come to, the growing domain of regional media. I met some of you who run ad agencies, some of you who lead brands, and you already know this. But just to contextualize, I normally don't make PowerPoint presentations, sir. You know why? You know why? They say that PowerPoint presentations are made by people who are neither powerful nor have a point of view. I'm your friend, so clearly I have a point of view. Powerful, I don't know, but yes. But just to contextualize what we are going to discuss, one is the traditional national media dominance is being challenged by rapid growth of regional media. And I'll give some examples. India is a vast country. It has different languages, different cultural preferences. So clearly, when it comes to content consumption, we have seen in the last decade that audiences like to engage with content in their own language. I think that's the starting point. Second is, with the increased digital penetration in smartphone adoption, the content consumption of regional media platforms is growing. Let me start by asking, how many of you know of a community called the Banjara community? Does anybody know about the Banjara community? Yeah, you know everything, Rana, right? Tell me about the Banjara community.
Essentially, nomadic in nature.
Of course, that's why they're called Banjara.
Roots are in Rajasthan.
Right. Why am I talking about them at a content summit where I'm talking about regional growth? So you're right, they are nomadic. So just to tell you, there are 12 crore people in India who belong to this vibrant community, and they have their own unique dialect. It's an incredible opportunity for a content entrepreneur or a content platform to create something special. How many of you know of a community called the Tulu community? Tulus? They've given us many actresses, but two of them have become very big. Anybody from Bangalore? So Tulu community is a very, again, very prominent community, very large community in Bengal. And Aishwarya Rai is Tulu, Shilpa Shetty is Tulu. Now, the reason I'm giving you these examples is that all these communities are large enough for content play. And just to build on this theme, India boasts nearly of 2,000 spoken dialects, each reflecting its own rich cultural nuances, idioms, and local flavors that deeply resonate with the communities. Now, of course, content platforms like Netflix, Hotstar, now JioStar can't connect with these viewers as of now in the way their content is created, because they're primarily catering to Hindi, English, and maybe to some other languages. But the way the content is created in their own dialect with the cultural nuances, there is a need for platforms for these communities, and I'm sure at some stage they will come up. And just to give you an example, all of us love food. It's like comparing mom's homemade dal chawal to a fancy pasta dish. The pasta dish has its own value, but the homemade dal chawal really hits the spot. As the demand for vernacular, I normally don't use the word vernacular, Costa, where it means the language of the slaves, but I use the word Indian languages. The demand for Indian language content and regional content continues to rise. And the regional OTT market and the rise of the regional content are intertwined. Just this regional market is projected to be, depending on whose number you want to take, minimum $8 billion over the next 3 to 5 years to $12 billion. So clearly it is substantial. The current OTT market is overall around $5 billion, with approximately 40% of the consumption coming from non-Hindi and non-English content. That's currently about 1.8 billion in terms of Indian language OTT. Now let's look at, even if we have, we saw the AV of Samay, and my pronunciation may not be perfect, but I know the newspaper and Exchange for Media broke the story of its changing hands. Now, even if you look at that the OTT market in India will grow at 15% CAGR in the next 5 years, which is safe to assume. By 2029, which is the next 5 years, the Indian language OTT market could represent almost 60% of the total consumption, with this market share potentially growing to between $5 to $6 billion. Now, also, India is seeing a huge rise of entrepreneurships. Indian content entrepreneurs are launching their own Indian language OTT platform. And let me take for, again, the beauty about regional OTT platforms is when a Bengali, and let me take a Bengali example, shifts from, let's say, Calcutta or Delhi or Bombay to, let's say, living in Amsterdam, he or she, wants content in their own language. And even if you look at traditionally, let's say, a Malayalam Manorama, it is consumed by lots of Malayalis abroad. I'm taking a newspaper example, but when it comes to entertainment content, it's true. Now, if you're a Konkani speaker living in the Gulf, where will you find content in your language? If you're a Bengali speaker living in Amsterdam, where will you find your content in your language? On an Indian language OTT that connects and understands the community. In my view, the Indian language opportunity is bigger than anything. It's a wide space, as I would call it. India's top 10 OTTs focus on just top 11 languages, more like 10 languages. There's untapped potential to cater to this niche, dialect-rich audience. Also, the cost of one of the constant input for OTT is the cost of production. One of the reasons certain OTTs are not profitable is the amount of money that goes the talent costs have gone up, the production costs have gone up. Without the need for big stars, creating high quality content becomes affordable, and the ROI on that lower production cost means a profitable OTT business as compared to the mainstream English Hindi production cost. There is also a network effect. Targeting close-knit communities like the Banjara or the Sindhi community creates strong word-of-mouth growth, slashing marketing costs. You know, most OTT platforms spend most of their money in content and in marketing. When it comes to community-led and regional OTTs, the marketing costs are lower because of the network effect. Also, the tech barriers are removed. With, for example, there's a platform called Mogi. With this plug-and-play model, you don't need to have a huge capex or tech team. Today, also there are plug-and-play, many OTT plug-and-play platforms that can help you focus on content creation while reaping an incredible ROI. Also, the feeling of community leads to a community investment potential. Millions of people speak dialects like Sindhi, but they don't have a OTT option. A smart entrepreneur can easily secure community-driven investment to launch it. So if you're somebody who you can crowdsource to launch. We are in the East, I'm in Calcutta. Clearly there are platforms that have done well. For example, SVF Entertainment launched Hoichoi, and of course they have had a strong TV and film production business, so they understand the cultural nuances of this community of the Bengali-speaking audience. There is NXT, which is even again a premier OTT platform, and they, all the things I talked about, network impact, talked about low cost of production, lower. Now, there are lower, what is the negative? In these communities, there are lower barriers to entry. So clearly, the kind of content you create has to be really deep. Another big advantage is celebrating local stories and cultures. One of the most significant contributions of regional OTT platforms is their focus on local stories and culture. And it creates new heroes and new leaders to be followed. Also, some of these performers need financial support. Many regional OTT platforms are offering financial support through grants, funding programs, and revenue sharing models. I want to say that also, I'm not saying Netflix or other platforms or Hotstar or Amazon in India are not creative, but when it comes to regional OTT platforms and regional platforms, the storytelling formats are more innovative in my view while I was preparing as compared to these platforms. I've already talked about the global reach and the community building and networking part. Now, as I said that these communities are underserved linguistically and culturally, I want to give you two examples. There is a Punjabi OTT platform called Chapal, CHAPAL. It already has 1 million subscribers. It is a dedicated platform for Punjabi content, and it has gained 1+ million subscribers. This figure, and they spend very little on marketing. This figure demonstrates the latent demand for Punjabi language content. The Punjabi-speaking audience spread globally across India and other parts of the world, in Canada, in UK, US, has really shown strong loyalty towards this platform. The revenue model of Chapal is 700 rupees. It already has 70 crores in global subscription revenue. Let me take another, just to support what I'm saying. There is a platform called Stage in the Haryanvi dialect. Again, Haryana is a very large, and parts of Delhi, UP, and Haryana speak the Haryanvi dialect. So clearly, I have many more examples, but just these two examples tell you that there is a proven model for doing regional content platforms that can easily scale up and become part of the community. Also, most of these platforms are using low-cost setup using PaaS, which we have a sponsor, platform as a service, the PaaS model. And if we just dive deeply into stage content specifically designed to appeal to Haryanvi speaking population. It has dialect speaking shows, folk songs, culture programs. It has created something that the national platforms, the larger platform, hasn't offered. Now let's look at South as a market. Regional OTT platforms like AHA in Telugu, there are platforms which are in almost every language in South. As we speak, new platforms are being launched. So clearly I want to say that there will be many more languages, dialects that are waiting to be tapped. And while I talk primarily of entertainment, there is a case for news and education. The rising affluence and purchasing power in regional markets is enabling regional and local advertisers to be able to utilize these platforms. Also, there are in certain communities, there are government initiatives promoting regional languages, and an entrepreneur can align with that. Even if we had to compare it with, let's say, TV, which is the primarily, as per the Pitch Madison advertising outlook, it is still the #1 medium. Digital has grown. Even if you look at almost every regional television platform, post-COVID in the last 4 years, there is an average 15% increase in regional viewership. So clearly all data points to a need for regional platform. Regional TV channels itself attracted over 400 advertisers, vastly outnumbering 600 on national channels. So clearly every city, every region has brands that are part of the culture of the city or the region. Calcutta has its own brands, West has its own brand. About a decade back, I was talking to Mr. D.D. Purkayastha, who then was the managing director of ABP, and they were going to cities like Durgapur is close, other cities in West Bengal, and he explained to me the kind of growth that was coming on the back of regional advertisers, local advertisers. That trend has only accentuated. That trend has only grown. I want to end by saying that we at Exchange for Media, recognizing the growth in regional platforms, regional advertisers, local advertisers, launched Exchange for Media Pride of India initiative, which is a conference to look at the brands and look and celebrate their achievements in a local format. We started it 2 years back. So clearly we've done it in Bangalore, we've done it in Chennai, we've done it in Bombay, we've done it in Bangalore, we'll bring it to Kolkata also. So clearly I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I want to end by saying that the regional content platforms are very young, they are nascent, and there is an opportunity for both entrepreneurs and for brands to be able to latch on to that and really grow them. It is a market that is still undertapped, underserved, and the content in this space is undercreated. As I said, the cost of creating the content are much lower, the stickiness is much higher. So I'm glad IWMBuzz chose Calcutta to bring its next initiative here. As I close, I want to end on a personal note. I came last evening, I did one interaction with a friend of mine, and I went to sleep at 9 p.m. And I woke up at 8 a.m. I did sleep 11 hours. How many of you sleep less than 7 hours in the night? That's not a good thing. Indians are sleep deprived. As you grow older, if you sleep less, your chances of getting Parkinson's in an older age grow. So whatever you do, don't sleep less than 8 hours. I do want to talk to you. I follow that. If I'm going to any city, I go one night before. I sleep early. And I'm a busy person. I also have a mobile phone. I have lots of work to do. But one thing I don't compromise is on my sleep. It has been proven, and you can watch this YouTube by Matthew Walker, Why We Sleep, or if you like reading books, buy his book called Why We Sleep. Once you watch that video, you will never give up on your sleep. Everything can wait. Nothing is urgent. You don't have to answer texts. And I keep my phone away, far from me in the room, so that I tried to sleep at 9. I took my phone, so I actually slept at 10 p.m. So really, Indians are sleep deprived. Most sleep less than 6 hours. The quality of sleep is another discussion, but sleep more. I know a lot of my friends in the corporate world, in the business world, in the advertising, marketing, media, don't sleep enough. That's why I make this point to talk about sleep. Second is, all of you are kind. I know some people in this room I've known. I made some new acquaintances. Kindness is the most important thing. And a lot of you are kind to me. I've grown in life because of kindness of a lot of people. But first, be kind to yourself. Sleep is the most basic thing that you can do to be able to be kind to yourself. If you sleep well, you'll be more mindful, you'll be in the moment, you'll eat less, and you'll also be able to do good quality work. I want to end by saying that we know we want to conquer the world. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm thinking of new ideas, but spend more time with your loved ones. I read this book maybe 18 years back called Tuesdays with Mori, and its simple message is spend time with people you love. Spend more time with your parents. That's what I want to say, and I wish you luck in your deliberations to be able to build on the theme of how regional media and regional content are growing. These are early days for regional content, and you'll see more and more platforms that will come up in languages and dialects that need those platforms. God bless you. All the best.
Taarak, founder and editor-in-chief of IWMBuzz Media Network, to please kindly join me over here on stage and hand over the token of appreciation to the one and only Dr. Batra. Please give it up once again for sir for that wonderful, wonderful opening address. Yes, we can keep the appreciation going in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.